building. So the first 15 floors are very swanky, very high-end, five-star hotel. And then the rest of the floors are all residential suites. So a lot of people come to this hotel thinking that they're staying in the highest point in Vancouver, when they're actually kind of being gypped. They're only up to the 15th floor, and then the people who actually own apartments there get the best view. The top penthouse suite was recently sold for $20 million. I was very close to buying it, we got it away. The student loans didn't come in, so that's the tallest building in Vancouver these days, the Living Shangri-La. They're actually building a Trump Tower right next to it, which is planning on being about 2 or 3 stories higher, just so the Trump Tower can be the tallest building in Vancouver. So I'll take you guys on 3 sides on this tour. I'll take you to the east side, the north side, and the west side. And if you have any questions along the way, I'll take you guys to the east side. Yeah. It's funny like how they're kind of building it right next to the Living Shangri-La, really instigating a rivalry over there. Have you guys been around Gastown yet?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I'll point out Gastown to you guys. Yeah, so if you guys want to get against the windows, get a good view, I'll let you know what we're looking at over here. So you guys have, most of you have all been to Gastown, hey? Oh, okay, so you've done the whole 9 yards. Nice. Oh, nice. I'm from Calgary. Really? A lot of people cooler So I'll let you guys know what we're looking at over here. So I'll point out Gastown first. If you guys look to the far left, do you see parallel to the railroad tracks? There's one street lined with trees. The trees are kind of hard to see right now, but it's the one street to the right side of the railroad tracks. So that is Water Street. Water Street is the main street in Gastown. And Gastown is kind of the original settlement of Vancouver. So Gastown is pretty much where Vancouver began as a city. Were you guys told the whole story of Gassy Jack? No? Then I'll fill you in. So Gastown was named after this one guy named Jack Gayton, whereas he was nicknamed back in the day Gassy Jack. He got this Gassy Jack nickname because Gassy apparently back in the day was an acronym for someone who told very long, hilarious stories, not for flatulence reasons. So Gassy Jack came to the shores of Vancouver, and when he came to Vancouver in the early 1800s, there was only a mill in the area. So he came to Vancouver, and there were a bunch of mill workers in the area, and Gassy Jack really wanted there to be a saloon built for him and his fellow mill workers to have a drink at after a hard day's work. So he came to Vancouver, and he had a huge barrel of whiskey. And he went up to all these fellow mill workers, and he was like, hey guys, I really want there to be a saloon built in the area. I know how much you guys like whiskey. If you guys build me a saloon, I will reward you with the entire barrel of whiskey upon the completion of the saloon. Because they were feeling pretty thirsty, perhaps they were mild alcoholics, they built the saloon in 24 hours in order to get that sweet whiskey. And then they drank all the whiskey in the house in about 24 more hours, and hence Gastown was born, fueled by dreams of whiskey and saloons. The original location of the saloon is actually unknown. There was a fire in the early 1900s that destroyed a lot of the original settlement. Perhaps because the saloon was built drunkenly in 24 hours, it did not withstand the fire. It was not architecturally sound. So we only really know the story of the saloon rather than the location. So that is Gastown. And I'll point out a couple cool buildings that also started rising up after Gastown was created. If you guys look right in the middle of the view here, to the left side of Gastown, to the right side of Gastown, sorry, to the right side, do you see a red building? A red and yellow very short building with a red winding down fire escape. It's not very well lit up, but it's right in the middle to the left side of that park over there. Do you guys all see that building? The red one?
On Main Street.
Yeah, just right there. Yeah, so that is the Dominion Building. The Dominion Building was built in 1910. And in 1910, the Dominion Building was actually the tallest commercial skyscraper in the entire British Empire. So that little building used to be one of the tallest commercial skyscrapers in the entire British Empire. That kind of says a lot when you look at Vancouver these days, but it didn't hold that title for very long. If you guys look to the right side of the Dominion building, you'll see a brown building with a lit up green dome. The entire building is lit up and it has a green dome on it. It kind of looks like a baby bottle. That building is the Sun Tower. It was built in 1912, and at that time, that building was actually the tallest commercial building in the entire British Empire. The Sun Tower was the first home to the Vancouver Sun, which is our local newspaper here in Vancouver. The Vancouver Sun moved to another location, and now the Sun Tower is mostly an office building. Furthermore, I'll point out our City Hall to you guys. So if you guys look farther to the right side, and you see that lit up street going off into the distance, that street is Canby Street. And do you guys see when Canby Street goes farther south, there's a building to the left side of it that's lit up. It has a clock on the very top and a Canadian flag on top of that clock. That is the Vancouver City Hall. So our Vancouver City Hall is not located in downtown, and it's located outside of downtown. Apparently that was a strategic plan that they made during the Great Depression. The City Hall was built during the Great Depression, and they wanted to build it farther away from downtown, so protesters during the Great Depression would have a harder time accessing it and protesting. So that was the strategic location of the City Hall. And then also, if you look at this little body of water below the City Hall to the right side, that is False Creek. Do you guys see that where the two sports stadiums are located? So False Creek is where our Olympic Village is located, and it's also where our two sports stadiums are located. So that big white sports stadium with the poles sticking out of it, and it's very lit up right now, all blue and white, that sports stadium is BC Place. BC Place is where the BC Lions, our football team, and where the Vancouver Whitecaps, our soccer team, play. It is also where we have the 2010 Winter Olympics opening and closing ceremonies. And to top it off, it also has a BC Sports Hall of Fame museum located inside. The roof is also retractable, so they can actually open and close that roof up if it's a nice day out and they're having a football game or a soccer game. And if you guys look to the left side of BC Place, there's a smaller kind of teal gray arena right in front of the water. It kind of blends in with the water almost. It has like a big black rectangle on top of it. Do you guys see that one? To the left side in between the buildings. Everybody sees that? Yeah. So that is Rogers Arena. Rogers Arena is our ice hockey stadium, and that is where the Vancouver Canucks, our hockey team, play. Yeah. And I'll point out one more thing to you guys. Do you guys see in the distance? Far in the distance, there's kind of like some lit up, it's hard to see because of this, but there's some lit up buildings in the distance. Yeah. Almost looks like another city. To the right side, that's actually Metrotown. Metrotown is a separate city suburb of Vancouver. So technically it's a separate city, but it's more like a suburb of Vancouver. Metrotown is pretty famous for a giant mall that it has called the Metropolis Mall. The Metropolis Mall is the second largest mall in all of Canada. It has over 200 shops, and if any of you guys want to do some retail therapy, that's a good place to go. It's only about 18 minutes away on the SkyTrain, so super close. So if anyone wants to do some high-intensity shopping, that is the place where you shall do it. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions about this side before we move on? Okay. So I'll take you guys to the north side, and I'll let you know a little more about the North Shore Mountain Range. Yeah. Did you have a question?